It's Only Rock and Roll by Spiderbite. If Twilight Sparkle was good at something, it was writing, and, after some good amount of practice, singing. But Twilight was always wanting to know more and be better at things. One of these things was rock, and she thought that it was time for her to learn. The only question is who would teach her? Raimundash was in the middle of a
super cool and important
event with Applejack, so she couldn't teach her. So, her only other option was Sunset Shimmer. Sunset had been friends with Twilight for a while since she came to the school. She always said she reminded her of someone. Actually, all of Sunset's friends in last century said she reminded them of someone. Twilight didn't really understand who, but after doing some research, she had some answers for it. Really weird ones. Of course, she found all the answers for her questions stupid and physically impossible. A talking pony from an alternate dimension? She was 100% sure that was impossible and it never happened. It was just things from her head. In fact, Sunset reminded her of someone too. Maybe because she looked like her best friend since the very beginning in Canterlot High. She was kind to her, funny, always giving up her leather jacket when Twilight felt cold and had taken her own jacket with her, taking Twilight for bike rides. Sunset had always been the best friend someone could ask for. Of course, sometimes it looked like she wanted something more, but Twilight couldn't say she rolled that way. However, Twilight won't complain about Sunset taking refuge in her own home on cold winter days. She really liked her company. That's why she saw no problem calling her and asking for some help with the guitar. Heck, Twilight didn't even have a guitar herself and had to use Sunset's. But she said it was okay, so Twilight didn't worry about it. But in fact, it wasn't okay. It was bad. Very, very bad. And at the same time, good and amazing. Twilight Sparkle was coming to Sunset's house to learn how to play a guitar in some minutes. If you weren't Sunset Shimmer, then you won't be worried. But Sunset was freaking out in her mind. She was going to stay all alone with Twilight, trying to teach her. Teaching the most beautiful girl in the school would be hard work for her. Even more since she was her crush. Sunset Shimmer could be seen as a confident person. She didn't fear anything in her life. People feared her. Even now that she was good, some people still acted submissive next to her. Sunset didn't care for that anymore. It was kinda good still being feared by some people. It feels really good sometimes. But everyone's got a heart, and Sunset was no exception to that. Everyone has to love someday. Then Twilight came to the school. It was amazing how she was so different, but at the same time, like Princess Twilight, she still loved her anyway. Sunset wanted to confess to Princess Twilight, but she was gone. Luckily, Twilight was there for her. The problem was that next to this world's Twilight, she acted like Fluttershy in front of a giant audience on a huge stage. But in fact, the only person in the audience was Twilight, and that was the whole question. Sunset always had a hard time with her feelings, even more so when it was with Twilight, and Sunset wasn't really ready to say something to her about it. She was almost sure Twilight would go on a date with last century in some days. He asked her. Meanwhile, Sunset just watched it. She knew she didn't have the real chance with the girl. Not at all. But doing that, Sunset felt like a coward, hiding the truth. Maybe it was better like that. After all, Twilight from this world wasn't completely like the other. She didn't like that. Sunset's thoughts and the music coming from her guitar were interrupted by the sound of the doorbell. She gave a long, deep sigh and rose from her bed, leaving her precious red guitar there. She walked downstairs. The house was quiet as always. Sunset didn't live with anyone. After all her parents were back in Equestria, and she was alone there. She just hoped Twilight didn't ask about it. Explaining that you are actually a pony from another dimension is obviously kind of hard for any person. Sunset finally opened the door to see Twilight standing there with a smile.
Hi, Twilight, you look...
She observed the girl before completing her sentence. Twilight was wearing a soft little purple dress and a pair of black flats, plus her classical nerd glasses and ponytail.
amazing today. You didn't really have to get dressed up like that to come here. It isn't like we're gonna do anything important. I'm just going to show you how to play the guitar.
Sunset said kindly, but she really wasn't wanting to complain about it. Twilight gave a little giggle and walked in.
Thanks, Sunset.
She blushed and stared at her with one of her fingers and sunset white in her eyes.
Why the heck does I always have to do this when someone like me or Trixie or anyone gives her a compliment? My heart's gonna explode if she doesn't over time.
You're very kind to me, but Rarity was in my house and she helped me out with these. You know how she is about these sorts of things. Even when she isn't the one wearing it.
Well, I have to say, Rarity has good taste in, this when it comes to other people.
Sunset admitted, and Twilight did the same thing as before, but this time looking away. Good for her heart.
So, let's begin?
She asked while they were walking upstairs, and Twilight nodded.
Calm down, Sunny. Do this quickly and finish it. Then you can stop thinking about what you're gonna say. Something that she would never accept.
Both walked into Sunset's room.
Sit here.
Sunset pointed to the ground at the side of her bed.
Here, take this.
She gave Twilight the guitar, who clumsily held it in the wrong way. Sunset giggled at her.
It isn't like that.
She sat behind Twilight on the bed and leaned over her, putting her arms around Twilight's body to adjust the way she held the guitar.
It's like...
Sunset's hands were sweating just from touching Twilight, and Twilight was blushing for no reason. Well, that's what Sunset was thinking. But Twilight was actually in the same situation as Sunset, and she had a lot of reasons for coming here in Sunset's house.
Alright, we're gonna do my favorite piece of music. It's easy. It's called It's Only Rock and Roll. I think you know it. It's a classic by...
Actually, I don't. But I bet it's by, Nirvana, right?
No, it's by the Rolling Stones, actually. Maud always listens to it when we hang out at Pinky's house. You don't really know this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm gonna show you. After all, that's what I'm here to do. Let me begin.
Sunset took her hand, passing it by the strings, and started the song. She gulped. She was so sure Twilight could have felt her fingers shaking. Sunset started singing with a soft voice, making Twilight shiver. After some minutes, Sunset kept in the same note as before, and Twilight looked back at her and raised an eyebrow, but then giggled at Sunset's face, making her come back to reality. She shook her head and stopped singing.
What happened? Why are you laughing?
Your face! It was so funny. But I think you can stop for now. I already get it.
Twilight blushed by feeling Sunset's warm hands against her sides. Sunset hadn't noticed she put them there after some time.
Oh, sorry.
She put her hands away and straightened up on the bed, gulping.
So, could you play for me? I'll sing, and you will...
She made a pause when Twilight came to her side.
I'll sing while you play it. Let's go.
Twilight began playing as Sunset sang. She was right when she thought Twilight would learn fast. But Sunset started observing Twilight more than paying attention to the music. She saw how beautiful her eyes were. The lighting in the room made them darker than normal, making them even more pretty. Twilight's way of touching the strings was so mesmerizing and calm, so soft. Sunset wished she could touch her like that, and she saw how Twilight was happy with it. She had a soft smile that showed 1,000 things. Sunset would love to see that smile every day.
Oh, dear Celestia, I...
You didn't even start the music. What is happening with you today?
Twilight frowned. Twilight could swear Sunset was nervous because of her, but she wasn't really that important.
Silly Twilight. You like her, but that doesn't mean she will like you, unfortunately.
Sunset looked to her hands.
Well, I have a little funny story to tell you. It's not really funny, it's ironic actually. I won't tell you a funny story at all. It's more like a truth that I didn't tell you because I'm not the confident person you think I am. Twilight,
Before Sunset could say something, Twilight approached her and gave her a soft kiss on the mouth. It wasn't a long kiss, it took a moment. But for Sunset, it was the longest minute of her life.
You don't even need to say it. I knew, since some weeks ago. It's really good having a love expert in your house sometimes.
Cadence? Oh, damn!
Why didn't you tell me before?
Because I thought you and Flash were, the thing, dating.
Flash Sentry? He is just a friend, I think? He keeps trying to get at me, but I don't really want to date him. You silly. Especially when he always says I remind him of someone. I want someone who doesn't need to be reminded of another person too, like me.
Twilight explained and stroked Sunset's hair. Sunset smiled at her, making a mental note to never say she reminded her of someone again.
So, you want to practice some more on Friday?
I think we can practice another day, and on Friday we could go somewhere. If you want to, of course. I would.
Of course I will!
Sunset exclaimed, but then noted she was being too loud about it, sounding like Pinkie Pie.
I will! I mean...
Twilight looked at the clock hanging in the wall.
Well, I have to go. Mwah. I promise I'll bring my own guitar next time. If you want me to, of course.
I have no problem having you not bringing it. Staying like that with you was quite nice.
Sunset said, making the other girl blush. After that, they went downstairs and Sunset said goodbye to Twilight. When she was gone, Sunset threw herself on a couch and smiled like Pinkie Pie throwing a party.
Gosh, this is only rock and roll. But I love it.
And after that, Rock and Roll had another meeting for Sunset. A really good one.